point of this video is getting you set up with the Temporal Prompt Engine. So now we are in here, and I did test this before, so I'm going to go ahead. So say you don't have anything set up and you want to get going with the Temporal Prompt Engine to help you craft cohesive video and audio prompts. Okay, so we're on here. We don't have anything set up. Technically this does have all the installers set up, but I'm going to walk you through all of it. So go to Temporal. You can go to the links, you can go to my GitHub entirely, or you can go to the prompt generator itself. All of these links I try to make readily available. If you scroll down through the README after it kind of tells you about it, this will lead you to the Python version that you need to install. Currently, the most compatible version that combines everything that in the end makes up kind of the base foundation around the Temporal Prompt Engine. 3.10.9 is what I've been using. I haven't had an opportunity to test this with the Intel release. So if you're looking for Intel optimized Python package, I'm gonna need somebody who has the hardware to develop that out with me, and or I can get access to that hardware. So go ahead and download the 3.10.9. In this case I already have it installed, but I will uninstall it so I can show you exactly what it's going to look like. Okay, so now that you're on the README, you go down to the installation part, step 3. That'll get you here. And first and foremost, you want to make sure you have version 3.10.9. Go ahead and navigate there. Go down here if you're on Windows, which is what this is built out for right now. 64-bit or 32-bit, probably going to be 64-bit at this point. So now, if you haven't ever installed Python at all, it's fine to click this. But if your system is currently built and relied on a different version, either before or after this, probably best for your sake to not click that. Go through customize, next, all users. That's what the path is. So you want to kind of take note of where this is. This will be your Python 3.10. So now that we have 3.10.9 installed, you can do Windows key R and either do Command CMD. You can do as it's laid out here in the GitHub. Ooh. You have installed, and all of that Python stuff is laid out right here. If you want to double check that you have this version installed, this will tell you you are on 3.10.9 if you use the py 3.10 command. That's what version of 3.10 you have, is 3.10.9, and that's what we need. So if that works, you're golden. That's going to be the biggest part, because the setup.py, which relies on 3.10.9, handles the vast majority of the backend and dependency setup for you. Please also install Python 3.12.4 using the same process if you would like to generate videos without the need for something like Comfy UI. Now, if you need Git, which if this is your very first time setting up, go ahead, download it for 64-bit as it sets up. Next, generally defaults are going to be fine. You have a preference to Vim or something else. I generally like Notepad++ personally, so I'm going to go ahead and install that. But Vim is generally a built-in text editor that works just fine for terminal purposes. Let Git decide, unless you need to override the default branch names for new repositories. Same for this, look through your settings, have it set up. If you need to research it, Google has most information you need. Next, 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 next. Okay, now that you have Git installed, you can go ahead and confirm it with the command here, a git version. That will confirm that you have it. I actually just upgraded this link on the CUDA toolkit download so that it goes to the proper version of the CUDA toolkit 11.8, which is the version you're looking for. So go to Windows, x64. In this case, I'm on server 22, but you may be on 10, 11, or otherwise. So I'm going to download and install this. Go ahead and click OK. It'll set and transfer all your temporary files for the installation to a temporary directory. It may take a moment depending on your hardware. I'm currently running on an AWS G6, I think ×4 large. Which I believe is the L4s, Tensor L or Tesla L4 GPUs. But hopefully it just lets me reinstall so you can see what it's like. Continue, express, understand. So this is going to just finish installation and we'll go from there. Installing Insight, Visual Studio Edition, and other stuff. Cool. Looks like that is all the NBC and all of the toolkits that you need. So you can close this download site, go ahead and confirm in here. Now to install FFmpeg on Windows, this can get a little trickier. So I provided access to a link which kind of spells out the process to get this properly installed for this to work efficiently on the system. Go ahead and download the latest zip version of FFmpeg. And just like it says here, once you've done that, wait for the file to confirm. Go ahead and open it in your Explorer. You can either click on the name rename it or right click it and rename it. Just go ahead and call it FFmpeg. Oops. And extract that to FFmpeg. Now take this folder that you extracted out of here and copy it over to your C drive, and this will allow you everything as it needs to be in place. Now that you have that there, you'll go ahead and take this command, which I will include over here at some point, and toss it in your thing, and this will set your path for FFmpeg to your C drive. And that's why we asked to just put it in the C drive, so that way this command works more straightforward. So that will allow this command where we're going forward to access that FFmpeg. So I believe it already had access because I did the testing on this. So this will show you that it has FFmpeg, but it'll probably say it doesn't have access to it, and if it doesn't, go ahead and close this out and then try opening up a new command prompt window. Now at this point, the last prerequisite that we need to install before we start messing up with the actual Temporal Prompt Engine or Temporal Prompt Engine is downloading and installing Ollama, so you can use the power of the open source that Ollama models bring. To download that for your system, in this case it is going to be Windows. I guess there's actually one more step, because in order to use these Ollama models and everything as it's set up, you'll need to have a Hugging Face token. So I will show you on the main computer. Go to Access Tokens. As you can see, I've been working on things for a little while here. Go ahead and create a new token. Name it whatever you want. In this case, I'm going to name it Temporal Prompt Engine. Calling it Temporal Prompt Engine works just fine, because this is a name that only matters on your account end. All of these settings work just fine. Go ahead and create the token, and then you'll copy that and just save that somewhere so you have access to it when you need it. You only need to enter this the very first time you start up the actual Temporal Prompt Engine. In this case, I'm going to have to do what I call portaling it, and I'm going to make a new chat on ChatGPT, throw that in there, and then when I go to my RDP client and I go to ChatGPT, it looks like FFmpeg is installed and confirmed there. And I log into my account on OpenAI. Let me. Then I can go ahead and take that information as I need it. So Ollama is fully installed and set up, as you can see there. And at this point, I also have my Hugging Face token, so we're good to start setting up the Temporal Prompt Engine.